Today we're doing a real high production rock recording session. I'm excited to take you through the process. Let's get to it. That's good, right?
Nice, yeah.
So this band is really good, really professional. We did an LP about over 10 years ago and it was amazing. So I really trust that these guys are just gonna deliver. So I wanna really push the envelope with what I'm doing. We're gonna try some new miking techniques I don't always use here, and I'm really excited to do that. To start off with the drum sound, I don't like to have any mics on the drums or anything. I just wanna hear the drummer play the drums and just hear how they sound in the room. It's easier to make tweaks on the tuning or dampening if the mics aren't crowding the kit. You might even have to pick a drum up and turn it over, tune it, stuff like that. So having the mics out gets in our way. So we're just gonna hear how the drums sound. We're gonna make some minor tweaks, then we're gonna bring the mics in and hear how it sounds. Let's hear the kick drum real quick. This is one of my favorite kick drums ever, this 24-inch Gretsch. I'm not really hearing any issues with that as is, just in the room, so I think we're gonna go with that. Usually I'm your kick's tuned up way too high, let's tune it down. But I think that's a really good starting point. Let's hear the snare. Mark's snare has always sounded amazing, but I think it's definitely starting out a little ringy. And Mark, when you're playing normal beats with your left hand, are you hitting a bit of a rim shot or not really?
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the part and
well,
driving I want it to be.
Yeah, why don't you play the the verse of first song we're gonna do? How long have you been using that kind of top head?
This is fairly new. It's within the last month.
Okay.
Month and a half I changed it out.
And that's the usual kind you
Yeah,
use?
yeah.
Is that what we use?
No.
I've been seeking out the drum sound that we recorded on their session 10 years ago since then.
Is that one of the snares you sampled for the drum pack?
It's secretly in there.
No, parentheses, yes.
Do the Konami code first.
Alright, so I think we'll need to put some kind of mute on that drum tech. See if we got any moon gels. Let's just throw an O-ring on it, or a zero ring. Just hear how that sounds. Oh no, let's not put rings on the drums, but I like them. They can really fatten up the sound of a snare drum. Alright, try that. It's cool, but why don't you hit that, and I'm just gonna open up the snare a little bit. There's a sweet spot where the drum just kind of sizzles when the snare is set to the right tension. Not sold on the zero ring. I think we're gonna hear how it sounds with the moon gels instead. Try that. Why don't you tune up the bottom head a little bit? Just a little bit.
Gotcha, yeah. It's a good move. Let's try that.
We're definitely going to spend some extra time getting things sounding right before we even mic it up, and it's going to be a little time consuming at the start, but once we get everything dialed in, we're just going to run with it and we're going to feel really good about the sound we get. Let's try that. Oh, you know, this snare was just creating this horrible resonance through this rack tom, so listen to it without the rack tom muted. What is that overtone? And you mute the rack tom. The snare is perfect. It's just we're hearing this thing ringing out. Alright, that's beautiful. Even though it sounds so good, I just feel maybe it's on the low side. So just crank up the top head an eighth turn, all the way around. And I think it's good to also start out just a little higher than you think too, because as you're doing takes, the drum will detune. So it's not a bad idea to just start a little higher than a little lower. All right, Yeah, that sounds good. Honestly, I think it sounded a little bit better before, but we're not going to mess with it because, like I said, it'll detune itself as you play. Let's get to these toms. Okay, and hit the other one.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, these need a little work, but I know they can sound good. Move the moon gel from the top to the bottom. And it probably needs some tuning, but these can be lifesavers on toms, and they honestly can make a really nice sound. Don't be afraid of using these. Why don't you hit that and see if it's that. Yeah, it sounds good, but it's a bigger rack tom, so I might be a little high. I'm gonna tune up the bottom just for a little more ring out. I'll try that. So I don't think it made it ring out any longer, but I do think the tuning is more sympathetic because it's just very, it's like very clean. Maybe this isn't the absolute perfect ever sound for this drum, but you can get into a deep rabbit hole of tuning toms. So the fact that we've got it like sounding pretty good, I think we need to move on to the floor tom, which is probably going to give us more trouble. That sounds fine. That sounds good.
And I already think I know what the issue is. A lug fell out here. So.
Oh no.
And that's why you're getting that.
Yeah.
It must have fallen out in either at practice yesterday or in transit.
Thought I had something, but don't think I have it in this kit. The thread has got to be at least 2 inches. I might not have ones that are deep enough, honestly. So we discovered that Mark's floor tom is missing a lug. We tried to find a replacement, but honestly, the quickest and easiest and best solution is just going to be to grab my floor tom, which is over on the kit now, and we're just going to do our best to make that compatible with the sound of the rest of the kit. So far it's sounding pretty good. I think that sounds so solid, so I think it's definitely time to move into miking the kit. So normally I keep it really simple and put one mic in the kick drum, but I really don't want to get stagnant with what I'm doing, so I want to try some techniques that I've seen a lot of people use over the years, and that's to use a Shure Beta 91 in the drum with a dynamic mic in the kick, and then I'm also going to put a condenser mic on the outside of the kick. Not my usual thing, but this is a great band to try out new techniques on because I know they're going to kill it. I know it's going to sound good no matter what I do. Let's try it out. The hole in their kick drum, in their kick drum head it's in an interesting spot. They used to have one down here that was pretty useless, they found, so this is probably a little better up here, but we're going to make it work. It's no big deal. Yeah. That's fine. This mic is gonna go, and it barely fits in here, but it does. That's gonna just go sit right on the bottom of the drum. We're also gonna get this AKG in there, which is a little closer to my normal thing, so even though I'm trying new things, I will always have this as a backup. Normally I'd put that way up by the head, but from what I've heard, the Shure mic picks up a pretty clicky sound, so I'm gonna back this off a little bit to get more of the body of the drum. So normally I'm opposed to using all these mics on one source because I just generally end up not needing or wanting them in the mixing phase, but I've been using one mic for a long time. I want to try something a little different, so I'm gonna do it this way.
That Shure mic, the one inside there, is that a like designed to be a kick mic? I've never even seen one of those.
I think they were initially designed to be like a conference room mic.
Oh, yeah. I know.
But it's like a PZM mic, they've been called. But I think they're used on kicks a ton. I was excited when I can use the shortest mic cable I have here. These used to be a real industry standard mic on toms. I don't pull these out every time anymore, but I'm gonna use them today. I think they do sound awesome. They're the Sennheiser MD421-2s. Normally I use large diaphragm condensers and sort of pick up a picture of the kit as a whole. I aim the condensers at the snare drum. Again, I want to try some different stuff, so I want to make these overheads more like cymbal mics. So I'm using these small diaphragm condensers. I have these nice Neumann KM184s, and they're going to be more like cymbal mics. I'm going to really try to have this detailed, compartmentalized drum sound where you hear this cymbal here, hi-hat, ride, stuff like that. So that's the concept I'm going for, and we'll see how it works. I still want to make sure they're equal distance from the crash cymbals and equal distance from the snare, because there still will be phasing issues that come into play. This is just my standard setup on the snare. Industry standard SM57 on the top. And then I like to use a small diaphragm condenser on the bottom. Always worked well for me. I like using these goosenecks on ride especially. You can kind of angle the mic with this gooseneck, angle it away from the kit, and you're getting mostly ride, a lot less of the kit as a whole. Again, with the hi-hat mic, pointing it away from the kit, but still at the hi-hat, using a Shure SM7B, more of a neutral sound, not hyped up. Trying to get it in there where the drummer still has room to get in here around the kit. All right, so we've got the stereo room mics in the back of the room here. Ribbon mics have this figure of 8 pattern that picks up in front of and behind the ribbon element and rejects on the sides of the ribbon. So we create a really huge room sound by pointing the side that rejects at the drums. So we're picking up the reflections of the drums off the room, just making an even bigger room sound for the drums. So we got all the mics hooked up, we're gonna get some basic levels and hear how everything sounds. That condenser mic that we put right in front of the kick drum has no pad or anything, and of course it's clipping out even with no gain, so I don't have any pads on the board, so I got a bunch of these inline pads, and that's what we're going to use to fix that condenser on the kick drum. So we put that pad on the kick, and this is how it sounds still. So that inline pad isn't going to work because it's still distorting the diaphragm of that mic, that condenser mic that's on the kick drum, so we're gonna figure something else out there. Alright, so we're having all kinds of trouble with this new technique I'm trying, which is a condenser mic in front of the kick. We've got it so it doesn't clip, we've moved it back far enough, we have a pop filter in front of it, we've got a dead cat on it. It's sounding good, but now it's picking up too much cymbal sound. Luckily we scrounged up a moving blanket here. I've got an amp stand that's going to make a little frame over that mic, and we're going to create a little cover over the mic that will hopefully eliminate some of that cymbal bleed and focus the sound of the kick on that condenser mic. Yeah,
it's tighter.
It's definitely better.
Yeah.
It's an improvement. There's got to be a phase reverse. I use this inline phase reverse plug on the bottom snare mic. Now that we've recorded a little bit, see if we want to adjust anything, get him playing with the song so we can hear the tones with the song, and we'll take it from there. Mark just has an amazing way of playing, very consistent, great tone, and it just all sounds good. We got good drums, great drummer, good room, good mics. It's all working out. We're gonna get into performing takes of the song. There's just some beauty in just hearing the drums like that. There's no processing on the drums at all. Sometimes in a rough mix or on playback, I'll like compress the drums a little bit, but man, they just sound good. Just really happy with moving forward with that. Maybe we'll get a little more critical. We haven't gotten to the part where you hit the toms yet, so we might make some adjustments there, but I think they sound really strong, and I'm really glad with the approach with the miking and everything that we went with. Happy with it. Let's go to the bridge section, because I think coming out of that and into this like build up in the last chorus is where we hear the toms. So I just want to make sure those are going to sound good in the song. Let's hear that section with the toms. Make sure those are sounding good. Floor tom sounds good. Just like play a little bit on between the two toms. Let's try a few things. So maybe we'll move the mic back a little bit more. I think moving the mic position helped a lot. Let's just listen to that. Well, those sound beautiful. Let's do that bridge section one more time just to make sure we're good on the toms. And here where he's riding on the floor tom. Sounds absolutely beautiful, so I think we're good to move forward, do some takes on this song. Before we go all out with takes on this song, the band was thinking that they wanted to try it a little faster. We're at 156. I think we're going to try bumping it up to 158 and see how everyone likes the feel of that.
That felt a lot more comfortable.
Okay, I think it sounds good. Do you want to roll with that tempo for an hour? Do you want to try another slight adjustment?
When we talked about it yesterday, even Brad and I, we were just like probably like 2 BPM. Like that's what we were all kind of feeling.
I'm cool with just going to that. I also turned the vocals up because that's like
That was helpful.
the really important part is like, are the vocals going to sound rushed? No. I guess I wouldn't want to push it too much more, really.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's do a full take from the top, and I won't stop you this time.
Cool.
Great take. Let's just give you a chance to listen through the whole song.
Sure.
You'll probably pick up on slight things that you want to improve on. Considering that was our first take in, just give you like one or two more.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll nail it with one that has like the perfect energy.
Mm-hmm.
I would say just do one more take.
Yeah.
Make my job easy. Just do the work for me. All right, so the first song came out awesome. We're moving on to song number 2. It sounded really good to me. This will be your third take if you do one more take.
Yeah.
Why don't you do one more take for me?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're done with the drum takes for both songs. They sound amazing. What I'm going to do now is have Mark record some clean drum samples to use from the session. Now, we may not use these at all, but we've got this great drum sound. It could be really useful to us to have these clean, isolated hits of like the kick and snare and the toms, and then even like a crash cymbal and a crash cymbal in case you want to punch those in and accentuate the start of a chorus or something like that. There's so many cool things you can do with these isolated drum samples. Like we could have a really clean, isolated room sound to the snare without any of the bleed of the cymbals in it. We could use that. So I don't know what we'll use out of those drum samples, but we're gonna take them and have them just in case. 3 hits soft, 3 hits medium, and 3 hits loud. I'll just want him to hit it with his left hand like he's usually hitting the snare drum. The other key to this is that he can't just do pop, pop, pop. He's gotta hit it once, pop, let it completely die out, then once it's silent, hit it again. So it can be very tedious, but this isn't anything near like the tedious process that went into recording my VST instrument and all that. This is much more simplified version of that. Maybe a little quieter for the softest ones. You could even turn the stick around for like a fatter sound.
It's a good idea. I'll do that on the heavier hits.
All right, so that was a little tedious and nerve-wracking, but could be a lot worse. But now we have all those drums, all those toms, kick, snares, and even a a big crash cymbal hit, we have those captured for posterity, and we can do a lot of cool stuff with them in the mix. Okay, so drums are done. We're moving on to bass guitars.
Bass records after drums because it's the rhythm section. We're just gonna knock out the rhythm section, get these clowns out of here.
We're gonna take a DI directly off the bass guitar, but we're also going to mic this speaker cab in the room. We're gonna use a blend of these two mics just to get a more detailed sound. This Beta 52 is obviously gonna pick up a little bit more of the lows. This 57 theoretically is gonna pick up more of the mid-range and highs.
Do you have any rule of thumbs for mic placement on a bass cab?
Yeah, it's a good question. As far as placement on the speakers, for bass, I don't overthink it, and I just put them on the center of the speaker cone.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Or like any whatever you got, just right in the center?
Yeah. Don't always do that on electric guitar, but I just want the bass to be pretty straightforward. I don't want to hear any kind of off-axis like filter effects or anything that you might get from doing something like that. Just want the most straightforward, thick bass sound we can get. What all settings do you have on that?
Half, 7.5.
What is that?
High, medium, low, EQ, volume 10. Could be the battery. Could be also I never play with a cab.
Sounds a little dark. Well, how old are the strings?
2 days.
Oh, okay. That's good. So you got your lows are boosted a little bit?
Yeah, 7.5.
Turn that down, see what happens to the middle or whatever.
Yeah.
And then boost your highs a little bit?
Boost the
Yeah.
highs.
Alright. So, just get that. Just from experience, I feel like what you had there was probably going to be too dark to cut through the guitars.
Yeah.
So I think starting off with this brighter tone, even if it sounds a little weird to you, is probably a good starting point. So.
Yeah, no, sounds fine from here.
So yeah, let's get some levels and record that with the music. As much as I may be directing Quentin, like I know what I'm talking about, Quentin introduced me to the best bass picks I think there are.
Oh yeah?
You didn't wear your shirt.
These very pointy. Do you sharpen these?
No, they sell them that way.
Yeah, I mean,
sharp.
yeah, they're nice and thick. They don't wear out like a regular pick would on bass. I think these are great. This purple Tortex, sharp.
Brad got Quentin a custom shirt for Christmas that has the pick on it and it says sharp as shit.
Sharp or it's shit.
All right, so I'm gonna play the music for you so you can set your volume level. We kind of have to hear it on playback to really judge the tone. I don't know, I think I just got a lot to work with there.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you like it, I like it.
Why don't you tune up and we'll do a take all the way through from the top.
Sweet.
Your playing sounds great.
Thank you.
Again, you're a really good, consistent player and great tone, and it just worked.
This is the proudest moment of Quentin's life.
Well, I remember when I recorded you over 10 years ago, I was way more intense. As I was just like really going for it. Funniest thing, I had the bass amp set all the way, all the settings the way I wanted it for Quentin to come in and play. And first thing Quentin does, I left the room and Quentin's like, I'm like, why are you turning the knobs?
The actual quote was, "What the fuck are you doing?"
and then I was like very stressed and frazzled until Quentin started playing. And then he just nailed it. I think we finished the bass parts later that day for an entire album.
I'll never forget the one song in one take. I forget what song it was, but I played it one time through and you were like, I have to make you do it again. That was it.
Well, if you knew how the bridge went on this song,
yeah,
we could have gone with that take. But
probably.
Let's just let you rehearse that bridge part.
I'd love to do that, yeah.
We got a stereo amp set up. Let's put them next to each other, but create some baffles between them, and just hear how well that works to isolate the two amps. We're doing it.
Wait, open it first and put the open end at the top.
Open end for the top.
There we go.
It'll be fine.
Alternatively, if you want, you can use my pedal board case, lay it on its side along them.
That's brilliant.
That would have been the smart move.
Yeah, it's really slide too well.
There you go.
I'm gonna DI your guitar just because it's easy.
Sweet.
So,
Get that
go
just
right
a spotlight
through there.
for it on the pedal.
Yeah.
Don't break it again.
That was me?
Yeah.
Well, I had no guarantees here, but apparently it's fixable.
Yeah.
Apparently it was weak to begin with.
Alright, yeah, play that rhythm and I'm just gonna crank it up and it's probably gonna get us the sound.
You listen to either one by itself and it's like, it's missing something. It's just like there's not...
But yeah, they come together, and especially with the drums and everything, it's just like kind of everything's finding its place, but you guys did a good arrangement and everything, so that's probably the biggest thing. That sounds awesome. Really happy with it overall, and your feel sounds really good. So I think we'll just do another couple takes till you're warmed up. If we need to, we'll just punch you in to get some transitions cleaner if we need to. But overall, I think you're just getting warmed up, so we'll just give you another take or two of the whole thing.
Yep, let's do it.
Alright, we got the second guitarist going. We're dialing in the tone over here. First it was too saturated, backed it down. Now we need to find a happy balance of the two tones. It sounds awesome in the room, so we just have to hear how it sounds on playback. The other guitar is like pretty saturated, so this one we want a little cleaner, but still want them to mesh really well together.
Gotta learn your ABTs. Always be tuning.
I think we're gonna move the mic a little bit. Right now the mic is directly on the center of the cone. We're gonna move it off the center of the speaker cone a little bit. It's gonna make it a little darker. I think we're at the best of all worlds here, of the perfect level of distortion.
It sounds like my tone.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that. Yeah, that sounds like what I've heard for years.
Alright, we're moving on to the final step. We're doing vocals. Brian's singing lead on this song, and then Brad's singing lead on the next song. Lots of backup vocals in there too, so this is gonna be fun.
I'm sick of waiting for the perfect timing. I can't count on anyone else.
There's so much good stuff in there. I think you should listen through it, rest up a bit. That's the biggest thing with like rock vocalists. They don't realize how much they're straining their voice through a day singing the same song over and over in the studio. So you just got to keep on encouraging them to rest, take breaks, drink lots of water, stuff like that. We're moving on to the second lead vocalist. We're gonna do the first take here.
They're secure for it. I'll just smoke a bit and away. My head down, try not to drown in this whirlwind black hole mind.
I'm liking it. Let's do one more take. I think we'll put the video away for now.
I've been living this lie over and over again, and I can't find my own way out. I'm still.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and maybe thought it was just a little bit different than your average gear-obsessed audio YouTube channel, it would mean so much to me if you wanted to hit that like button and would consider subscribing to see what we do next.